Hello, my fellow communities in Leeds, Yorkshire in the United Kingdom, and my fellow Nigerians back at home. I'd like to say thank you to everybody, and you're welcome to the Nigerian Yorkshire Communities Network, UKCIC group in Leeds, in West Yorkshire, in the United Kingdom. Our organization, we're based in Leeds, near Manchester. And for those of you that don't know where Leeds, West Yorkshire is one of the best places that we have a lot of Nigerians. And, you know, it's a very good place. I lived in London before I moved to Leeds. And Leeds is a place where you can raise family. So the advice is that anybody that wants to come to UK, please, you can always come to Leeds. And whenever you come to Leeds, we will absorb you into our community. Our community has lots of activities, but mostly our biggest program is the food bank, food palliative community service. We used to support fellow Nigerian families and students and other race. Our activities and programs and projects are open to everybody. It's open to all, whether you're Nigerian or etc. But we are a Nigerian community that we're diverse, we're unique, and we're always here to help. So please check our website out. It's www.nycn.org.uk and go on our social media. We have a Telegram group. If you're a new Nigerian, you've just come to Leeds, or you're living in Leeds, you want to join our Telegram. Not because we want you to be there, but we want you to be there to benefit from our programs. We do series of programs when it comes to free food, free weekly food of £100 to £150 to £200. We do activities, and on a yearly basis, we go somewhere, during the summer, during the Easter. There is always something to do. Even during the Christmas time, we do Christmas party. So you will see everything on our website. We help people with NIN. If you want to do your Nigerian passport, we can support you with the NIN contact. We do lots of consultation service. Just check on our website. I'm not going to take too long. The purpose of this YouTube version today is actually, giving you an update about the immigration changes in the United Kingdom. And these messages, our organization, whether you're on YouTube or social media, it's open to everybody. This is why, for our fellow Nigerian families and students and individuals, you are part of our group. This is why we do this YouTube video, so that you can learn and plan. If you want to come to the UK, these are the changes that are there. So the UK has actually, done a lot of huge, big changes to the UK immigration system. And most of them, as there's a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Africans that have been affected. Students have been affected. And for those of you that wants to come to UK, you'll be really, really be affected as well. So, and as I've said, one of the things I want to go through is giving you. So there is a new paper that just came out from the Home Office, and this is the elaborate summary of UK immigration changes that will go into effect as from this month, July 2025, and the code is HC997. And so I have the paper with me, and what I tend to do is that when I see all these new updates, I like to put it on the YouTube. It's very, very important because, some people, they don't have time to read. So the whole process about UK change, there's been changes to the salary thresholds of students. So if you're a student that you're coming to the UK now, you need to have a particular amount of money that you must have before they can give you a student visa. If you're a dependent or family member, and you need to have a particular salary threshold. There's been a lot of changes, and I can see that, Nigerians, when they came down here during the Japa, that was when everybody wants to come to UK. Some people have done the right thing, bringing their family to the UK, and some people have made a mistake, So it's on both sides of it, Some people have come to the UK, they've been able to incorporate themselves into the community, into the society, and they've been able to fit well. But some people have not been able to do that. And mostly the reason why majority have not been able to continue to live in the UK, you can see Nigerians are going back to, so Nigerians in the diaspora in the UK, they are going back to Nigeria because some people can't even live in the UK. When you talk about the rent, When you talk about the bills, student that is working 20 hours a week, and students are struggling to pay their school fees. Maybe their school fees is 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 18,000. And how are you going to be able to pay that? So this is why the UK government has made things harder. I don't think they want to allow Africans or Nigerians or any other to come to the UK anymore. They prefer the European Union, because at the end of the day, they think that we're a burden to them. And whenever I see all these updates, they're doing the update all because, they're doing it totally because of Nigerians or Africans or any other race. They prefer the European Union to be here. There is a reason why the UK left the European Union, because the European Union, they're like bully. And that is the fact. The European Union, at the end of the day, just imagine 27 countries. They all have to agree in order to pass a law. And these are bureaucrats that you don't even vote for. You don't even know. So it's a good thing that the UK has came out from the European Union. So for me not to further digress, the matter of it is that a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians, Africans, they are now trapped in the United Kingdom. And why? It's all because a lot of people have, rather than they've taken all their eggs, all their investment into one basket, and what is killing them, there's so many things that is killing them. When it comes to, you see Nigerians that have just come to this country to come and study, and all because they just had the support work, immediately they just rush into mortgage. They don't even understand the implication of the mortgages. Mortgages are good, yes, but the mortgages are good for people that are residential or you're a British citizen here. But even for those people, the idea of having a mortgage in the UK is very, very tricky. Because if you don't have a steady salary, if you don't, a steady salary, or you see some Nigerians or Africans or other race, you see some of them, they do three jobs. These are families that have 3 kids, they have husbands, they don't even have time to spend time with their family. And that is a fact. And I know that you are one of them, and I don't blame you, because at the end of the day, you want stability. You want to have something. The mortgage is one of the biggest investments in the United Kingdom. That is where everybody has, put all their investments. But what is the problem with the mortgage is that you can see house rent is going up, and look at the Bank of England, will not bring down the APR, the rates. The Bank of England will not bring down the rates because they want to make profit. The UK government wants to make profit. Just imagine if you're paying mortgage and you're paying at a certain APR. That APR, the Bank of England must bring down the inflation rate in order for you to benefit. If the inflation rate or any rate from the Bank of England goes up, it's a bad news for people that have mortgages. So a lot of people that have mortgages, Nigerians and other Africans, their mortgages have gone up in the past 1 year. And why? It's not because of one reason. It's not because the Bank of England continue to increase the inflation rate and because they want to stabilize the UK economy, whereas it's a negative for people that are doing mortgages. The UK is basically that it will take all your money that you have worked for. If you're earning 100,000, the UK government will make sure they take up to 40%, 35%, 40% of it. You're more or less working for the government because the UK government does not have any kind of a major resources that they live on, like the Nigerian that have oil and gas, Saudi Arabia, etc. And this is why they're so focused about your tax. If you don't pay your council tax, if you don't pay your income tax, if you don't pay your road tax, if you don't pay your insurance, if you don't pay your etc., any tax, they're almost like 6 or 7 tax or more than that. If you don't pay, you see them, they'll start writing to you. You see them, they will take you to the court. So a lot of people in the United Kingdom are trapped. And there is a lot of Nigerians that already started going back to Nigeria because there was one family that was telling me that, President, how can I be paying up to £3,000 every month? He's a very good friend, very good someone that we know. They all went back to Nigeria. And they said that they better, because just imagine if you're paying a bill of 1,500, 2,000, convert that to Nigerian money. Yes. We know that, Nigeria, okay, there's some certain element of it that we're still trying to get together, but Nigerian is getting better. And that is why I'm always a patriotic person. I don't want people to come to say that, you see some Nigerians, whenever they're here, they don't class themselves as Nigerian. Some people will just come to the UK. You have not even settled down, your job and etc. You just jump into mortgage. You don't even understand the implication of the mortgages, And, mortgages are good, but you need to understand it. And this is why I advise people, if you have an opportunity to get a council tax, get a council house, and you can use that if you have children. If you have a settlement here, if you have a resident here, or if you have a permanent residence, the best thing for you to do is to go and lobby and get a council house. Council houses are more cheaper than mortgages, and we have seen a lot of Nigerians that have been very, very wise to do that. Rather than going to go and get a mortgage of 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, or even up to 1 million or 2 million, even wherever you are in the United Kingdom. So the UK, everybody has now knows that it's a trap. A lot of Nigerians they're stuck. A lot of Nigerians during the jackpot, they sold their property, they sold their house, they even borrowed money in the bank. Now they're in the UK, the money is finished. Because there's no amount of money you bring to the UK. If you bring 50, 100 million, that money is nothing. By the time you pay your rent, I can give you an example of how much rent I pay here. With all my bills every month, you're looking at around 1,500, 1,700 pounds. Oh, that's pounds. That's per month. That's per month. You pay your electricity, water, you pay your broadband, you pay your phone, you pay your car insurance, you pay your tax, road tax, you have to eat, and etc. Just imagine, for someone that have like 2, 3, 4 kids, 5 of them or 6 of them living in a house, there's no rest, there's no holiday. It's work, 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 work. This is why we advise Nigerians, please, don't put all your eggs into one basket. Have an investment in Nigeria. What is the best investment to invest in Nigeria? It's land and property. Land and property. If you have money, you have investment in Nigeria. Build like shops, business shops, and rent them out. I have a colleague that, they have, in Nigeria, he has up to 34 shops, and if you have rented them out, that is a good investment. If you have a property and rent them out, let them be getting you some money. A lot of people have not been unwise. They've invested their money into this country and they're trapped. Every moment you pay mortgages, and if you miss 1 month or 2 months or 3 months of your mortgage, they will repossess that house back from you. Simple. So today, and that is why I want to go. There's been a lot of changes. As you know, the UK government is now enforcing the immigration changes as from this month. So, for example, I'll read this to you. This is an overview. On the 1st of July, the UK government released a series of immigration rules changes under Statement of Change HC 997. Most updates will come to effect on the 22nd of July, 2025. The changes cover salary threshold for skilled workers, closing the care worker route to new applicants, redefining rules for dependents, and redefining transitional protection for individuals already in the UK under specific rules. The rules aims to lighten access to work-based immigration while protecting the existing workforce under transitional provisions. And you see in this, the number 2 of this, which is the salary threshold increase, is basically they have now graded it. So these salaries are general threshold A. The previous salary now was 38,700. Now is now 41,700. New entrant. If you're coming to this country, whether you want to come and call COS or support work or whatever, the previous salary before was 30,960. Now the new salary is 33,400. Just imagine. So if you want to say you want to collect COS, and all because of this, a lot of agents now, people that the employers with a COS license, they're not able to employ a lot of people, a lot of you that are looking for work. That is why you cannot get COS now. Because the real reason why you're not getting COS is not because the Home Office has now increased the salary threshold for everybody. And just imagine, if you have an employer A, and you go to that employer A, please, can you give me COS? They cannot pay you that salary. They were giving us an update that, President, you know, the Home Office has made things difficult for them. They can't even employ anybody. They can't even give anybody COS anymore, because how are we going to be able to pay Mr. A, Mrs. B, a salary of 33K 400, you know? So to get a COS now is a problem. And this is why a lot of Nigerians are going back now. And the Home Office is now said to everybody, even with the students that are finishing, that once you are finishing, if you cannot get a COS for yourself, please, you have to go back to Nigeria. And a lot of Nigerians have received letters from the Home Office, which I've witnessed. They came to our community center. So again, just to go ahead, also lower threshold, row G. Previous salary before was 26,100. Now, the salary for new salary is 28,200. I will send a copy of this onto the description of this YouTube. You can see. Row B is educational row. Educational row, previous salary is 38,830. Now, sorry, 34,830. The new salary is now 37,500. You know. So, and the role F is public sector workers. The previous salary is 29,000. Now, the new salary is 31,300. So, they have now increased the salary threshold. Whether you are a support worker, you're a skilled worker, or you manage to get a COS or skilled worker visa from Nigeria, you know that if you don't meet that salary threshold, you know, you can, in pounds, you cannot, they will not give you visa, and you cannot stay in this country. You cannot work in this country. You cannot bring your family in this country. Even families cannot, you cannot even bring your family to this country because they've stopped all that. So this is why a lot of people are making their way to Canada. They're making their way to Australia and etc. That might be a very good route for you to explore. Also, health and care workers route. I will read this to you as well. The care workers route under SOC code 6135 care workers and 6136 senior care workers will be closed to new overseas applicants from the 2nd of July 2025, this month, in the next 3 weeks. Only individuals who had a skilled worker visa in this role before this date can extend their stay. Change employer, you can change employer if continuously employed or apply for settlement. Employers may still sponsor these individuals for internal transfer provided they have worked for the organization for at least 3 months. This transitional right will expire on the 22nd of July 2028. 2028, yes. So what they're saying there basically is that when you see these roles, the health and care workers role, you know, if you are, as from the 22nd of July 2025, there will not be recruitment for applicants coming from overseas anymore. So for those of you that are home, my fellow Nigerians, students and individuals, or Africans or any other race, as from the 22nd of July 2025, there will be no new applicants coming from overseas. That route is going to be closed. And after, for those of you that are already within the UK, individuals that have skilled workers right, that are already working, whether you're a student, you're working with someone, now your employer can give you a new COS as long as you can meet the threshold. You know, so what that means is that if you're a care worker, that you're working with an organization now, a support worker, you're working at an organization, or you're a student that you're still doing your uni, but you're working, and that employer decides to say, okay, they want to give you, they want to extend your COS, or you want to move from your student visa to your skilled worker visa, you need to do it as quickly as possible. You only have time, especially students now. Students that are working now, in order for you to change. So the care workers route and this and that will be close to this. Only individuals who have earned their skill workers in this role before this date can extend their stay. So what they're saying is that if you're working, if you're a student, you still have your student visa till maybe next year. Then within that period, before your student visa finishes, you can seek for skilled worker visa, support worker, as long as you can meet the threshold. And you know that in order for you to get a COS, you have to have a very good relationship with your employer. Very good. And this is the advice, because what they're saying is that this transitional right will expire 22nd of July 2028. So a lot of people are trapped. I've seen a lot of Nigerian families that have come to us. They said, "Oh, President, we've just received a letter from the Home Office. They've asked me to be going back home." And you don't have any option. If you decide to stay, you become illegal. And one day you see the Home Office, they're going around. They know people that they've given letters. So if they send a letter to your address, and the Home Office have seen that you're still in the country, they know where to come. They will come to your address, and if you decide to run, they will carry you. You meet yourself at the intro, ready to go. That is the health and care workers route. So I will put all these documents there so that you can read. Also, student visa restriction. This is very important. For our lovely students that are here, I'm very proud of you. We have 8 universities in Yorkshire, and we have the Nigerian students. So these are to the Nigerian Student Society students and Nigerian students doing PhD, masters, or professorship, whatever. This is for you. Student visa holders can no longer switch into the care worker or senior care workers role after the 22nd of July 2025. This is in 3 weeks' time. So what that means, let me read it carefully. This is very important for the students. Student visa holders can no longer switch into care workers or senior care workers role after. What that means is that if you're a student, you need to start processing your switch now. You need to start processing your switch, because you will not be able to switch as from the 22nd of July. And why? I will tell you, my people. Why is the UK government doing this? It's all because there's been a big report. You remember the new white paper that highlighted Nigerians, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, and they said that the reason why they've stopped all this, they've put restrictions, is not because there's a lot of Nigerian families that they will come down here with children, etc. Once they finish their student, the next thing they will do is that they will go and claim asylum. Africa, and not only Nigerian alone, African people, other rates also. So a lot of people want to stay in this country, but what the UK government is saying is that you told us that you want to come and study in this country. You did not tell us that you want to settle down. And all because you couldn't get COS, a lot of people will start turning to the last option by going to go and claim an asylum, and this is where they will carry them. They will now deport them back to Nigeria. And we have seen a lot of Nigerians, some people, which are broken marriages, things that are not supposed to happen in between two couples has happened, and all of a sudden they will go and report their husband or wife to the police, which is unnecessary. There is no violence, and only if there is a violence, then you need to report them to the police. But the Home Office has now discovered that most of the Nigerian families or students or Africans or any other race are doing this purposely because they want to stay in this country. What they're saying, you can see a lot of students, students here, they want to stay in this country, they want to live a better life. I don't blame them. But everybody is taking a drastic step in doing that. And if you're a student and you have five children, you have families, or you're a COS, and you go and report, the Home Office now knows that you're trying to claim asylum, you want to stay in this country, it's an excuse. So they're not going to give you that chance. They've canceled all those things. So for those of you that are fellow Nigerians, wives and husbands, you need to find an alternative. Don't go and use the options that the Home Office is already having on the table there, because immediately they will just conclude. If you can go and fabricate lies that your husband is beating you, or your husband is bullying you, or is abusing you, yes, if it's done in a real manner We don't support that. We don't condone violence. I will never condone any man to lay their hands on a woman. Any man that lays their hand on a woman is a shameful man. You know, that man is a sinner, and he will be punished by God or Allah. You should not lay your hands on a woman. You know, I will never do it. I've never done it. That is the fact. You know, so this is why the Home Office have bring out this white paper, which they've highlighted Nigerians, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and a lot of people said is for me. A lot of people said it's racist. Why do they have to highlight Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Nigeria? They said it's racist because they know that we're colored people. You know, whether that is true, we know only you or the public will judge. But I think that it's not only Nigerian, it's not only Pakistan, it's not only Sri Lanka, it's everybody. There is other races. There's people from Iraq, from Romania, from Afghanistan that are coming to this country. But you know what I normally say is that the Home Office, they don't get their duties right. Nigerians, these people that are students that are coming to this country, paying 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 18,000, they are putting money into the UK economy. You that you have COS, you are here now for 2 years. And do you know how much you use in buying that COS? You have paid 30 million, 50 million, 10 million, 15 million to buy COS. You are putting money into the UK economy. But what is the UK government doing? The UK government is paying attention, making the asylum, the illegal immigrants that are coming through France, through the waters, and putting them into Marriott Hotel. I will always say that in my YouTube video. It's unfair. It's unfair. You put all those people, the illegal people, 20,000 are coming through the boats. There is always this news every day on GB News, on BBC News, on ITV. You're spending our money, the taxpayers' money, you're spending it on all those people. You put them in, now you saw all because of the ECHR, the human rights law in the European. The European, they can't even get their own immigrations right. But the UK is paying attention to them. And people have told the UK, you need to get yourself out of this old, more than 70 years, more than 40 years of ECHR rules, which is now even affecting Europe. Look at Germany. Germany has closed their border. Poland has closed their border. You know, the European Union is intentionally wants to destroy the United Kingdom because, especially France. France does not like UK. UK during the Rishi Sunak pays France 500 million. 500 million to help them protect people coming from the water. But France, what do? France just folded their hands. The police will be seeing them. They're not doing anything. They collected the UK money. The UK cannot collect that money back. UK is we're just like a dummy here. The European Union will use us. We're always grabbing again. This is why I like Trump. You know, the reality has to be said. You know, look at America. America is doing well. You know, we have oil here in Scotland. We're not allowed to pump oil. We're thinking that we can do renewable. Renewable is expensive. It's not the right time. It's just like everybody is driving hybrid. Not everybody can buy the hybrid. Not everybody can buy electric because they're very expensive. To buy one of all those cars, you have to have like £25,000, 30K, 33K. But is it making a difference? But the UK should understand that you're just a tiny island within the globe. Whether you save the whole of UK from global warming, it will not make any effect as long as China, America, Saudi Arabia, all of these big countries are polluting air. It doesn't make any difference. But I don't know where the science is. You know, all we're saying is that they should focus on the right people. The Home Office should focus on the people that are paying school fees, that are putting money into their economy, not people that are taking money from their economy. The illegal immigrants, whatever claim they make whenever they come here, whether they have violence in their country, some people will claim gay, some people will claim all those things. Whether it's up to the Home Office to do their work properly, but not to be victimizing, victimizing those people that are putting money into the economy, like Nigerian students, African students, other race. You know, and it's wrong. But again, I can only talk to my own. And that is what I'm doing as a community leader here. So this is where the whole matter was. Everybody has to stand up and buckle up now. And this is why a lot of people, when you go on the TV, they say UK is a trap. Yes, UK is a trap. Because look at you that you have invested all your family, everybody. You've came here, you sold all your property, you buy COS, everything. You paid your school fees. You've worked, and every one of you that have worked, pay your tax. Recently, we just launched a collaboration. The Nigerian Yorkshire Community Network launched a collaboration with Unison. And why did I go into that collaboration? Why did we go into the collaboration? It was one of our sister, our Nigerian sister, that is a member of Unison. And, you know, he advised us that, okay, the only way Nigerian and African and other race can be protected whenever they are working from abuse of employers just withdrawing their COS, etc., or the Home Office, is to join Unison. And this is why I advise everybody, if you come to this country, try and join Unison. Go on our YouTube or go on our website, you'll be able to join Unison. It's very cheap. If you join Unison as a member, do you know how much you'll be paying? If you're earning up to £2,000, you'll be paying £1.34 every month from your direct debit. You will not even see any money going out of your account. You'll be protected, because that day when your employer or anybody, your employer or someone just accuse you wrongly, or maybe trying to suspend you or reduce you, or maybe just treating you humane. You know, for me, I said it in that video. Go on to our YouTube. The way Nigerian students and COS and support workers, care workers in general, adult social care workers in general, the way they've been treated in this country is appalling. It's nothing to speak about. They don't have rights. The government has not protected them. And these are people that came to rescue the NHS, the social care department in the NHS. And look at the NHS. The NHS is investing billions and billions of pounds. Do you know how much they pay these care workers and adult workers? They pay them stipend. Some of them, they pay them £10, £15, whereas they can pay a lot of the doctors and nurses, they pay them a lot of money. But the care workers that are looking after our elders, our pensioners, that have worked to build this country, the people that you can't give them. Look at recently, the government winter fuel allowance. You know, everything got blown out in their face because there was no proper consultation. Do you know how many Labour rebelled? 120 Labour rebelled against Labour because that policy was so wrong. We're not saying that you cannot change the welfare system, but you do it in the right manner. The welfare is a critical, sensitive policy that you need to deal with. Labour has not handled that very well. And the welfare secretary, Les Kande, has not handled that very well. You will see her in the Commons that will be shouting. He will be opening her mouth without. Look at the Chancellor. The Chancellor intentionally broke down in the Common House because she was so moved. I know that she's a hardworking person. The Chancellor is my MP. She's a hardworking person, but you know, everything have just blown into her face. And I hope that she doesn't resign soon, because she'll be so tired that everything she has done, and it's all because you have not done your own work. And why is Labour having this bad experience? It's all because they just came into the government. They don't have experience. I'm sorry to say. They don't have experience compared to Conservative. Conservative have been there for 14 years. Labour just came in, instead of them to do proper consultation, work with Conservative, work with all the parties, but you just believe that you know everything. And this is why it's affecting them. Three changes they've done now. And it's not a good, you know, for me, I don't support any party, but I know that as long as a party that cares for the welfare of the community, especially our pensioners, I'm a very big defender of our pensioners and elders and children and young ones. They should not suffer, you know. But this government is making the elderly and pensioners, I don't think that they will ever vote for Labour anymore. They've lost that right. Anyway, for me not to divert again. So we're just talking about the elaborate summary of the UK immigration changes that is coming up. It's going to take effect live July 2025 this month. And that is the HC 997. So we're looking at so as I've said, if you're a student visa restriction has now been restricted. So if you're a student, if you're working, you need to make sure, I want to repeat this, you need to make sure, so student visa holder can no longer switch into the care worker or social care worker roles after the 22nd of July 2025, in 3 weeks' time. So if you're a student, this is what is talking to you. You need to make your moves, really. Otherwise, if you can't switch, once you finish your student, you're going back to Nigeria, or you're going back to anywhere you come from in Africa, or etc. It's very simple. You just have to seek the right consultation. Simple. Also, I'm going to read. The next one is dependents and family members. New rules restrict who can bring dependents under the skilled worker rules. A child may only be sponsored if the main visa holder is an eligible role listed in the new appendix skill occupation table. Exception apply to legacy care workers and etc. So what they're saying is that maybe dependent of skilled worker role. If you have a skilled worker role, maybe you have a stay here, you can, but I don't think that that would apply to care workers that are here. Dependent family, new rules restrict who can bring dependents under skilled worker. A child may only be sponsored if they are read this the other time. And you can go and look at it in the documents, who were granted permission before the new cutoff date and have maintained continuous leave. The changes limit families' migration for future care workers. And so if you're a care worker that just come to this country, without your children, you cannot bring your children again anymore. 6. Transitional and transitional provisions. Applicants who were granted permission under a now restricted route before the cutoff date, 22nd of July 2025, for care roles may continue extending their visa and applying for settlement if they meet continually rules. Employers can continue to sponsor care workers until July 2028 if they meet the 3-month employment requirement. So what they're saying actually there is that if you're an applicant, applicants who were granted permission under the now restricted, you can actually extend your visa and to apply for settlement. So let's, for example, you have I believe that a skilled worker visa, care worker visa, or support worker visa for up to maybe 5 years. I think 5 years I don't know. Is it 5 years now or 10 years? I don't know. Yeah, you need to check that for me, okay? You have the right you can switch to settlement if you meet the employer's criteria. So what that means is that, for example, the employer's criteria or the home office criteria is the salary threshold. Can you earn up to 33K or 30K? All those things you have to check. It's very, very important. So they have made everything so strict now. So a lot of people are now starting to go back. And what I advise everybody is that if you're a Nigerian or African that are here, if you have a visa of 3 years, make sure you work so hard and save that money. And even if you have to go back, the advice is that if they give you 3 years, once your 3 years is finished, if you cannot get to extend, go back to Nigeria or Africa or anywhere you come from. Go back, you can reapply again and come back in. If you work for 3 years, if you save 20,000, 25,000, I'm telling you, by the time you take that money to Nigeria or any of your country in Africa, etc., you'll be able to reboot. You'll be able to reboot again and reapply. And if you apply again, they will give it to you. But rather than staying here, trying to find a COS, and you end up getting scammed by COS. A lot of Nigerians and Africa has been scammed in the past years and past months. You don't want to be there. So before you pay any money to anybody, I advise you, please think. Don't rush. Don't panic. My visa is going to run out in 2 weeks, in a month. Don't worry. The Home Office is not going to kick you out. But if you go and pay £15,000, £20,000, that money is gone. And even if you buy that COS and they give you the COS, how do you know that it's not going to be revoked? We have seen people that buy COS, it has been revoked, and that person is not going to return your money. And that is the fact. That is the fact, my people. Okay? So it's very simple. So those are the transitional provisions. So temporary shortened occupational list. A new temporary occupational list has replaced the previous shortened occupational list and will remain valid until 31st of December 2026. So those are just the remaining. So I just said I should give you an update. We have lots of updates. We have packed in this section. We talked about the COS. In our previous video, you see that we released a video which was released in BBC, and we added ours to it. It's about COS scammers, support work scammers. Anyway, you need to beware. For those of you that are students here, it's good for you to come here and to come and study. But the fact is that, the respect is not there anymore. It's demeaning. Just imagine someone that you have a master's degree, you have a professor, you're doing support work. Why don't you take that degree and go back to Nigeria? You'll get a job. And if you don't want to go back to Nigeria, go to Canada. Canada is looking for people. Australia is looking for people. You can find the details. Just go on their Canadian government website. You'll be able to see how you can apply. If the UK does not want anybody to come to their country, yes, they don't want. They can allow Europeans to come in. And not disrespect or no disregard to Europeans. I love Europeans. I love everybody. I'm a friend to everybody. But the treatment that has been put on Nigerians and Africans, as a victim of this immigration, they're not the cause of this immigration in the UK. The over immigration in the UK, the Africans or Nigerians or anybody, they are not the cause. These are people that are coming from the waters. And the UK is spending all our tax money, billions of pounds, putting them in Marriott Hotel, buy them a car, etc. You see it on the TV. It's not something that everybody is making up. The immigration needs to go down. And how is it going to go down? It's not by allowing people to come illegally. If people, Nigerians and Africans and other race, you have come legally to this country, through the student visa, through the COS visa, through the skill worker visa, through the support worker visa. Is it not you that the Home Office should be paying attention to? But the Home Office is paying attention to the illegal people. And when the European Union keep on deceiving the United Kingdom, the European Union does not want United Kingdom to succeed. I'm sorry to say. Because we know what France is doing. France is, and the Home Office, the UK government pays France almost a lot of money. I know how much Rishi Sunak paid, 500 million. Now this government has paid France. France is doing nothing. You see their custom officer, immigration. They will stay there. They will fold their hands. They're not even stopping the people. And the UK is just like a magnet. All these immigrants coming from everywhere, whichever way. I know Nigerians are among them. They don't want to go to Europe. They don't like Europe. That's why they like to come to UK. UK is the English-speaking country, and they know that the pound is stronger than the euro. So the fact is there, UK is a trap, and is a trap for all of you, and etc. But how you live here is up to you. What I would advise is seek advice from your immigration lawyer. We're a community in the Leeds. If you want to seek advice from us. We can divert you. We can recommend immigration lawyer. If you're a student, you have been given, you see from this new paper that is going to be implemented on the 22nd of July. If you're a student, you need to switch. I'll read it to you. Student visa holder can no longer switch into care worker or senior care worker roles after the 22nd of July 2025. Understand that date. After 22nd of July 2025, if you're a student, you cannot switch your student visa to care worker or skill worker anymore. You're done. Once your student visa is finished, it's either you do the 2 years, postgraduate to post-studies, etc. like that, and use that to make money, as much money as you can make. Don't go and rob. Don't go and do any crime. Okay? Work, save that money, and take it back to Nigeria or your country. You'll be fine. You already have masters. You came here to do masters or PhD. Why don't you go back home? Rather than you struggling to pay rent, struggling to live. This country, there's so much. The reason why we're here is not because I have the opportunity to be here. I was born here. That's why. The only people that can enjoy this country is people that have residential, they have settlement, or British citizen. That is it. Things are harder for anybody outside all those things right now. Even people that have go and claim asylum. How much do they give you as an asylum? Some people have made them. A lot of Nigerian women has made that mistake. Nigerian men has made that mistake. By breaking their family themselves, by fabricating lies, and now they say they're claiming asylum. How much do they pay you in asylum? Maybe they pay you less than £40 per head, in a week or something like that. Even the home office, wherever they give accommodation, they give to you, they put camera in that house. You cannot go there. You cannot. They'll take your Nigerian passport from you permanently. You can't. They restrict your movement. So if the government is paying for you, the government has to be watching you 24/7. Yeah, that is the rule. So being an asylum, even some asylum seeker, they put chains onto their legs. The men, they will put a tracker onto their legs, just like prisoners. I said it on this YouTube video. So we are community leaders here, and we talk to lots of Nigerians and other Africans that have issues. And these are the new changes that are coming, and you need to have it in your mind that it's not going to be easy anymore now, because the UK government is cracking down on, and if you're a student, you're only here to come and study and go back. And what I will advise you is that by the time you're here, even if you want to do the postgraduate 2 years, do the postgraduate good 2 years, use it to make money. Use it to rate. By the time you have 15,000, 20,000, if you save money, take that money back. If you have like 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, do you know how much? That's almost like more than 50 million. You cannot have 50 million in Nigeria today that you will not do well. Invest it in the business, and even if you invest it in business, you'll be able to make money. But some Nigerians don't look at all those things. They just want to stay here. They want to stay, and there's no much enjoyment here. I'm telling you. Yes, we have lights. Yes, the security, but UK is a 70 million. We have all those things in Nigeria. Now, we know that, okay, lights goes off, NEPA takes light, but it's now getting better in Nigeria. Try to be positive about your country. Try to be positive about Nigeria. It's not all that bad. We're not the worst. Go to Pakistan, go to India, go to Afghanistan, go to Iran. You can see that it's only when you are there, you know that Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja, all those places were better than them so many times. It's just all because, things are changing gradually, but it's not fast enough. But we need to continue to pray. That is all I will always tell people the truth. Some people send me on this, when I told them, I say, why don't you come back home? I'm coming back home soon. I'm coming back home. I can't stay in this doldrum, at the end of the day. This country has been very good. I'm not going to lie to you. The UK has been a very fantastic country for lots of Nigerians, other race, in the past 10 years. But that was before, not anymore. Not anymore. As I've said, go and look at my previous video, YouTube video. Go back there. You see Japa, rent today. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, you're going to be looking at £700, £800 per month. Oh. That's not including bill. This is in Leeds, not to talk of London. This is why, as a Nigerian, I will not advise you to go to London. But if you're Dangote, if you're a $3, if you're rich minister picking or senator picking, you can live in London. The best place for an average Nigerian coming from Nigeria is Leeds, Manchester. The northern side is better. Come to the Midlands. Don't stay in London, because if you stay in London, all that money you think that you have, even if you have 100 million, 200 million, that money will disappear. That is the fact of the matter. We have lived in this country for more than 20 years, and I know all the how things work, and this is why we're a community leader. We give advice now as a volunteer to help Nigerians and other race. So, my people, today this is just about giving you an update about the economy. And the question on my YouTube is going to say, is United Kingdom a trap for Nigerians or Africans or any other race, or a benefit for you? That is the question that will be on your mind. Is you that you make that judgment? Is your family that will make your judgment? But you need to do your research. And for those of you that are back home, if you want to come to United Kingdom, please do your intense research. Because if you think that you want to come to this country with 5 million, 10 million, stop deceiving yourself. If you go and try it, come down. It's not a problem. You meet us here, you will see what you're going to be going through. Because sister, brothers, or auntie, they don't know. Nobody knows anybody. It's not like Nigeria. You can go and, mama, no. It doesn't happen like that. So may the Lord continue to bless us. So this is just an update about the summary of the recent UK immigration changes that is going to be implemented as from this month, July 2025. Please, I will put the summary here. Okay, please make sure you do your research. And for those of you, as I've said, the UK government have now had a salary threshold increase. Healthcare worker route is not going to be stopped. There's no more overseas recruitment for healthcare anymore as from the 22nd of July 2025. So if you're from home, that is it. Student visa restriction has now been restricted. Students cannot change their student visa, no longer from student visa to skilled worker or social care worker, etc. as from the 22nd of July. That's in 3 weeks. Simple. Dependent families as well. I don't think care workers will be allowed to bring children to this country anymore, because that has been said so many times. So these are just the updates of the paper. I've just realized. I just said I should put it into YouTube so that you guys can listen. Please share this video with Nigerian fellows, Africans, and etc. If you're a community leader, my fellow Kanuk delegates community, please share it. It is very important that we continue to let our Nigerians understand the changes in the UK, so that they understand whether they want to come to this country, whether they can afford it. The threshold, the point of this is about the salary threshold. And this is why most of our Nigerian families and African are finding it difficult to get COS, because employers of COS, license owner, they cannot afford to give you COS anymore, because they say the Home Office have made this so difficult. Now they have increased the threshold to 33K, 28K, 41K. Is not possible, and the only alternative is for people to look at themselves. If you have children here, you don't have to, at the end of the day, some people are here because of their children, because they think that UK is the free education. It's not free. There's no free education. Everything is deducted from your tax. Everything is deducted. That is the mistake people make. They think that no, education is not free. This is why the UK is heavily relied on tax. They tax you 40% or more than 40% from your salary. In a household, do you know what you do? You pay council tax, you pay road tax, you pay water bill, you pay electricity, you pay your car after, you pay insurance, you pay house insurance. All those money, where do you think all those money goes? Look at your mortgage. When you have a mortgage that you're supposed to be paying every month, maybe £500, but all because of the APR has increased it to 750, 800. Who do you think all those money is going to? Bank of England and the banks that borrowed you money. The more the Bank of England rate goes up, the more mortgage you pay. This is why you're trapped. There's no amount of work. You see some Nigerians, you can't even see their face anymore. And by the time you see them, they're so tired, and it's all because the reason why I'm communicating this is not because this is what I see every day. And this mortgage, let's say you're at the age of 45, 50, 40, and you do a mortgage of 30 years. When are you going to finish paying that payment? At the age of 70. That is when you're using a walking stick. Is that the time you're going to be enjoying the mortgage? No. Because you work all year. You don't have time. You don't go on holiday. You don't even rest. And some people even, unfortunately, we lose some people all because of this stress. It's a lot of stress for families working to pay their mortgage. They have children here, etc. And my advice is that, okay, if you want to have a mortgage, try and get a council house. There is a council, add your name to the council, and it's more cheaper. And the only people that can do that, not people that have COS, it's all people that have residential settlement or breaches. Those are the people that can do it. So if you're a COS or skilled worker, you're on your way to have a settlement, just be patient. Council flat is better, it's more cheaper, it's more affordable, it's owned by the council. At the end of the day, yes, you'll still borrow money from the bank. For example, you have 2-bedroom, you have council flat. They might say that it's going to cost you 100,000, 150, compared to a normal mortgage. And you see all these mortgages they build. These are plastic houses. Plastic houses that if you use your punch and punch it, it will go inside. There's nothing inside. It's not like a brick. It's not like a brick, like the houses in Nigeria. So people need to understand what is in the UK, in Nigeria, or any other country. Even people that are in Canada, they're coming back, because once you start getting to that age of 40, 45, you need to start planning yourself. Going back home. Have something that you can have investment in Nigeria. I always advise people, investment in Nigeria, investment in Africa, investment in Nigeria. Because whatever you're doing here, if you don't finish paying that payment, if you don't make it that mortgage payment, that house does not belong to you. Don't waste your time. Don't ever waste your time. This is the fact. You can have a mortgage of 250,000, 200,000, 300,000, 350. If you don't finish paying that money, that house does not belong to you. The bank can collect it from any time if you default. And this is why they put it under your contract. We will repossess your house if you miss any payment. And this is why some people work so hard, 3 shifts. You see them, they finish. Some people that are just maybe 35 years old, 40. By the time you see them, they're just like 50 or 60 years old, because they don't rest. You're not going to take all this thing to heaven. We're only here to live. You know, all this property, you can have billions, you can have everything. Are you going to take it when God said the time is right? If God said your time is up, it's up. So why wasting your energy? You want to kill yourself because of an edifice that, okay, you want your own property. Yes, mortgage is an investment. But the investment now is so difficult to even achieve the profit, because the bank is always increasing their Bank of England rate. The Bank of England is part of the old system. UK government, this is where they make money from. Yeah. So you see the Bank of England, this is why Donald Trump was accusing the Federal Reserve. You know, they keep the rate up rather than them to bring it down. When you bring the rates down, it's more, things will go down. Mortgage rate will go down, everything. But the UK bank leave the rate up, and they intentionally put it there even when they're supposed to bring it down, because they're making profit out of people. So whatever you do, you're working for the UK government. All the money that you're supposed to invest. So this is why I said, don't put your egg into one basket. If you have mortgage here, have a house in Nigeria, have an investment in Nigeria. That is my advice. So you don't need to take it, but that is my advice. You know, even if you're living in America or Canada, that is the same thing you should do. Because once you enter that mortgage, you're trapped. That mortgage traps a lot of people here. And again, it doesn't matter that even if you have mortgage, you can rent it and go to another country. That's fine. People does that. But the mortgage will keep on going up, because right now the government is looking for everywhere to get money to tax people. Even they will tax your pension. And that's why I say the UK lives on tax. They don't have any resources. The resource they have, instead of them to be tapping it, they want to be the best global warming, saving the planet. How can a tiny country, United Kingdom, be trying to save the planet? America is not doing it. Russia is not doing it. All of them are burning coal. You just look at a football like that. UK is just tiny part on the globe, and you're saying you're saving the planet. Why are you suffering yourself, making your people to live expensive life? You know, stressing people. This is why bills has gone up. People cannot afford bills. It's too expensive, and that is the reality. And the reason why we're telling you, for those people that are come to UK, this is what you will see. Is you're not coming to a paradise. You're not coming to, you will come here and you will say, I'm telling you, some people, I've seen some Nigerians that, they sit down in their office, they keep on crying. How did I get into this? If I had known this, I could have stayed in Nigeria, or I could have come to UK temporarily and make some money and go back. But you see some Nigerians, they're stuck. Some people just in their age of 53, 50, 60, 55, they're still doing support work. Instead of them to go and rest. When are you going to rest? To enjoy your money, to enjoy what you have done so far. You're giving all that money to United Kingdom diaspora countries. May the Lord continue to bless us. I always play that everything we worked so hard for, our sweat, our effort, may not go in vain. Everything we work so hard for, may the Lord Almighty not let someone else or a country or an organization take it away from us. This is what the UK is doing. Please, my people, be wise. UK is a trap. It's a trap for some of people, a lot of Nigerians. Yes, you might not believe it. You might be smiling, but it is a trap, because that is why the UK government is turning the immigration changes against Nigerians, Africans, people that are support workers. This is why we launched the Unison, the adult social care. Who are the people? Who are the most race people that are in the adult social care? These are Nigerians, Africans, Asians, etc. May the Lord continue to bless us. More updates will come soon on our YouTube, and I will put the details of this. I will give you the link. You can go in there and have a look at it yourself, and make sure you get yourself ready. If you want to talk to your immigration lawyer, it's better It's better. God bless you, and thank you for everybody that have been listening. Once again, this is the Nigerian Yorkshire Community Network, UKCIC Group in Leeds, in West Yorkshire. My name is Engineer J. Skolawole. I'm the founder and the president of the organization. Go to our website, www.nycm.org.uk. Our number is there. Our social media is there if you need any information. Thank you so much. More updates to come soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.